Hi folks, this is Elgin Subwaysurfer Bolling, your creative caricature marketing consultant, your CCMC, and we are continuing on in our discussion and our lesson on how to become a pro caricature entertainer and how to position yourself as a professional. I'm a little dressed up today because I want to make a point, about something that's very important, something that surprisingly, in my years as a caricature artist working jobs with other caricature artists, I'm surprised that a lot of artists don't do this. And if they worked in any other profession, they would do it automatically without being asked. But for some reason, they don't do it as caricature artists, and I'm talking about dressing for success. I've seen with my own two eyes caricature artists show up to gigs, even gigs that are weddings and formal affairs, in t-shirt, regular pair of jeans, sneakers, and not generally caring about their own personal appearance. Now, I'm not talking about people showing up in torn clothes, dirty clothes, unironed clothes. We're not talking about that. What I'm talking about is you're working in a visual business, okay? And it's very important, the visual impression that you have on people. And we all know about dressing for success. In business, you wouldn't show up to a place of business, depending on your place of business, in a t-shirt or jeans, unless it's an extremely dressed down type of day. And even then, even on a casual Friday, you would only dress down so much. What you want to do as a caricature artist, you want to, like I've been saying in all of these videos, you want to stand out. You want to create repeat business for yourself. There are a lot of people out there doing caricature, a lot of people, especially in New York. So you want to position yourself so that you are memorable. People might be better artists than you are artistically. Okay, they might be more experienced than you in that they have more jobs. But if you are memorable, if you stick out in a person's mind, they will hire you faster than a person who draws better and a person who has more experience. I guarantee that because I've seen it. I've done it. Okay, so let's find out how we can do this. My nickname is Subwaysurfer. Subwaysurfer is a term that they use in New York City, for goofing around on the train, riding on the outside. I adopted that name because I used to draw a lot on a subway. That's how I made my reputation. So one of the outfits that I used, coming up, was to dress in subway-related paraphernalia. The hat, the shirt, the colors, the MTA, I look like a walking subway car. I created that persona so that when I showed up, to a gig, they would say, oh, the Subway Surfer guy. That's one thing. I remember one time at a formal party, I dressed up, with the jacket, with the tie, with the slacks, and I had a big pair of Homer Simpson slippers on, because I wanted to identify myself as the artist, as the entertainer. And that's what you want to do. You want to get in the person's mind that you are the entertainment. You'll be surprised when you come to a party. You can be set up in what you consider to be a prominent place, but it takes the people there about a half an hour to even know that you're there. And if you are dressed like everybody else, they're pretty much going to be passing you by. They're not going to notice you, and your time is going to run out. And your host is going to get mad because you haven't done a lot of drawing. So you want to attract attention to yourself, and it can be as easy as what I'm doing right here. I'm imagining that I'm at some kind of event for young people. They're going to be playing a lot of hip hop. So I got on my patented Run DMC Adidas warm up, complete with the hat. Only they wore black hats, but I like the white. Okay, but doing something as simple as this, even if you said to yourself, for every party, I'm going to show up in a Adidas sweatsuit or jogging suit, and just have it different colors, complete with a different hat or appropriate hat to the color. Just doing something as simple as that, you're helping to create a persona, something that people remember you by. So when people are looking for an artist, yeah, let's get that dude, who wears the Adidas, sweatsuit all the time. Let's get him, the guy in the fedora. Something simple like that. I've met artists over the years. I'm going to refer to my teleprompter here. I've met artists over the years who have a talent for creating a persona, for having people remember them. One of those artists is my buddy Keith Cartoon Man Douglas. He created a character, an alter ego. Hope you can see it. And he uses this at parties. He calls himself Marshall Quickdraw. Okay? He's a puppeteer also. He even created a snake that he carries with him. And as Marshall Quickdraw, he just draws the characters as, I guess he draws, when he comes to kids' parties, he becomes this cowboy persona. And he's done this for years as Marshall Quickdraw. People remember him for that character, and it definitely sets him apart from all of the other artists in Louisiana. Another friend of mine, his name is David Boyer, or Bippy. We call him Bippy. This is a cartoon. Bippy has a cartoony style that I like. He's very popular, with Japanese people. He loves Japanese art. And do you see that propeller on the top of the head of the character? Watch this. This is Bippy in real life. Hope you can see that. I've known Bippy for years, and he always, when he's drawing caricatures, has that signature propeller hat that he drew in his cartoons, okay? And that propeller even spins around. That has become his iconic look, where people remember him by. And it's so much fun to create a persona, and so easy. Now there's one artist, he is a European artist. His name is Marcelo Guerra. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Marcelo Guerra. No one does the persona thing better than Marcelo. Marcelo always dresses to the nines, but he dresses in the most outrageous colors. He always has a signature bowler hat, okay? He always has the jacket. He always wears a tie. So he looks formal, but quirky and cartoony. And he has a kind of a face. He looks to me, he looks kind of like Keith Richards. He looks like a walking cartoon. I have other pictures of him. One moment. He's worth checking out, by the way. Marcelo Guerra. This is another one of his looks. Bowler hat, tie. This is him dressed a little more formally. I guess this was more of a serious gig, but he's still keeping with that same persona. All right, this is another one of him dressed a little bit more outrageously. And I suggest, as a caricature artist, you can borrow from what I'm showing you here to create your own signature look, but just make sure that it is consistent so that people can remember you. Because when people remember you, it's going to translate into more work, more popularity. And I consider Guerrero the king because, I mean, look at this. You know, he even has Batman as one of his clients. If Batman likes your work, you're in. Okay, I'll show you one more picture of him. He is a particular favorite of mine. Okay, so decide on what your particular look is going to be. You know, I would suggest that you never show up casually, just casually, haphazardly at a gig. You always make it a point to show up as some type of character. You can make it that character as elegant or as outrageous as you want. You can show up in a tuxedo, as long as you do it all the time. Or like I did, you show up in something very formal and you just throw it off a little bit by wearing something outrageous with it, like my Homer Simpson shoes. Or maybe you can order some clown shoes, which are especially long and you can walk in them. Or maybe an outrageous tie, something that will identify you, something that will definitely set you apart. If you do that, the money will come in, people will remember you, and you will be a success. I guarantee it. That's all for this segment. I will see you in the next video. This is Elgin, Subway Surfer Bolling, your creative caricature marketing consultant.